Hey, we got our special guest. This is our friend now. He's a legal commentator on Headline News correspondent, on HLN correspondent. He's host of a show called In Session on the True TV network. He's joined us this morning to add some insight on the new developments in the Trayvon murder case down in Sanford, Florida. Please welcome to the show our buddy and Monica's friend, Mr. Ryan Smith.
Welcome, Ryan.
All right, good morning, Ryan.
Welcome back,
Good
Ryan.
morning, y'all. How's it going?
Hey, good. Hey, Ryan, when this is all over, don't hang up, because on the air, I want to ask you a question. So don't hang up after this is over.
Really, man.
Hey,
Okay.
yesterday, hey, y'all stay out this. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. It's me and Ryan talking about player to player. Okay, here we go. Yesterday, Ryan, special prosecutor Angela Corey decided not to conduct a grand jury hearing for George Zimmerman. What does that mean? Break it down for us.
Well, essentially, it's a bold move on her part, right? Because she could have let the grand jury decide if they were going to bring charges against George Zimmerman. So here's how it works. A prosecutor can either send the case to a grand jury and say, hey, you guys, 30, 40 citizens of Florida, you decide if he's going to get charged, or she can do it herself. So by doing this, it was kind of like saying, you know what, I got this. I know how to investigate a case like this. I know how to figure this out. I will be the one that determines whether or not he gets charged or not. So when I was thinking about it yesterday, I kind of thought of it as like, when you were a kid and somebody says, how come this didn't happen? And you say, oh, it's not my fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. That's essentially she's taking herself out of that mix. So instead of laying it off on the grand jury if charges are brought or not, she takes all the burden on herself. So it's a bold move. And if she doesn't bring charges, it's all going to fall on her. And if she does, it's going to be her responsibility.
Now, let me ask you this question. Because she is the special prosecutor's job, explain this to everybody, is to prosecute. Basically, her job is to what, though?
Her job is to prosecute, is to basically enforce the laws. So she will get up there and she will investigate this thoroughly. That's why you haven't seen charges yet. She is investigating every single aspect of this case. And if she sees that there is a case that should be brought based on the law, then she will not only ask that charges be brought, so the police will go pick him up, then his case will start moving. But then every step of the way, she will prosecute this case. So in court, she will be the one who is trying to find him guilty on manslaughter or whatever it is that they decide to charge him on, if they decide to charge him.
Okay, now this is just a personal. I want your personal view on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a prosecutor do this, does it lean more to she's about to really put on a show here and make a name for herself as a prosecutor, or is it something else?
That's the first thought I had. And she came out in her statement and said, there is nothing about this choice that says anything about what I'm going to do. So immediately she tried to say, look, me taking on this burden, it has nothing to do with whether I'm going to charge him or not. I don't see her as like the grandstanding type, the type who's going to try to make her name off of this case. What I see is she's going to try to, and this is the tough thing with prosecutors, they want to try cases that they can win. Mm-hmm. So if they can't win a case, they don't want to bring it. There's nothing worse. I mean, look at the folks in Casey Anthony. Look at all the time they put into that, and they lost. And it looks so bad for the state. So, this is Florida, not all that far from Orlando, same kind of thing. She wants to make sure she dots every I, crosses every T. Now, when she made this choice, I think most people think, well, that means charges are going to be brought. Because if not, it looks like she's the only one who decided they shouldn't be brought. And I mean, that's,
wow.
And that's in front of a press conference.
That to me appears to be suicide. Yeah. But, stranger
Unless
things
you're
have
bring
happened.
Charges.
Absolutely. And that, I know by her making the statement that it doesn't mean, but I mean, come on, you got to be crazy. Your career hangs in the balance here. If you decide not to bring charges and you stopped it from being a grand jury hearing, are you for real? Also, then, that makes you wonder, you got to, me personally, I would start looking into her background to make sure that Zimmerman's daddy, who's been a circuit judge down there for so long, isn't tied to this some kind of way. Also, today the Sanford Police Department had to temporarily be closed because the protesters blocking the doors. Do you think that this civil unrest in that area is going to get worse, or is it helping?
The police department is closed.
Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it? That's something I never heard of, that a police department could close because there are protesters there, because essentially you don't have a right to protest in certain areas. But do I think it's going to get worse? I think it's going to get worse until they decide whether charges are going to be brought. And if there aren't charges, that's
public outcry.
Yeah, I mean, it really will be. And, it's just because this is one of those cases where there are so many things that we've heard in the public that just sound like charges could be brought. For example, manslaughter is, simply, there's a lot of ways to read manslaughter in Florida, but a lot of people are thinking, hey, you know what? You come at somebody, you use a gun, you shoot them based on these set of circumstances, it sounds like manslaughter. So you have a lot of people who are stepping up and saying, look, based on what we've already heard, it sounds like charges should be brought. But prosecutors will tell you, look, we got to look into every detail. We got to look at the patterns on the grass and what happened that night and all the witnesses. Everything. But the more details that come out, that's why she decided to cut off the details coming out. Because the more details that come out, the more you see people out there saying, look, it just seems like something should be done here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely it does. I mean, look, when you blow up a picture of Zimmerman's head to show that there was a mark on the back, or you enhance a picture to say there's something on his face, if a young kid, 17 years old, is fighting for his life, just the mere chance, I just want to live some more. I mean, I got to tell you, man.
There's chances you're going to have marks on your face.
You're scrapping, man.
Yeah, you're fighting for your life.
Yeah, so see, I don't give a damn that Zimmerman has marks on him.
And not only that, the question I keep asking about this is, why was he following him? And I remember we talked about this a little while ago.
Yeah.
These kinds of crimes, these stand your ground law and what's going on in Florida, it's based on who the aggressor is. So if he's following this kid, if he's following Trayvon Martin, he jumps out of his car, he comes at him, what does that sound like to you? To me, that sounds like somebody's being aggressive. And then just because Trayvon Martin fights back in that scenario doesn't mean George Zimmerman's exonerated just because somebody decided to fight him that he was chasing down.
Right. And see, clearly,
self-defense for Trayvon Martin.
Exactly. And clearly, this is George Zimmerman's gun.
Yeah.
See, clearly, and like you say, at minimum, manslaughter charges. Yeah. If you kill someone and that wasn't your intent to kill him, but you killed him, it's people in jail right now for hitting somebody with their car when they were driving and they've gone to jail. And they didn't see him and it was an accident, but it's manslaughter, man. You can't kill a person. Hey, Ryan, before we get out of here, man.
You didn't got mad, huh?
Yeah. Are you married, man?
No, but recently engaged.
Okay, so
congratulations, Ryan.
My man,
Steve.
Doing the do. Well, that's why, closed mouth don't get fed. And, that's another one bites the dust. And congratulations
around here.
to that fly one that you picked, boy, because I know you got a winner. Holla.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.